Performance Review 2019, let's talk about that. It is a little bit of a strange thing this year because we're moving from our old system, which was InfoPath, into our new system, which is Headstart. But the tricky thing is we still have to finish the old performance review in the old system before we can get it into the new system. And to get it into the new system, you have to kind of do it again. So it's going to be like a phase 1 and a phase 2. So phase 1 is same. You go into InfoPath, you fill out the form, you assess yourself against your KPIs, your values, your goals, and you basically get your performance review rating same as it always has been. It's a little clunkier to get in there this year because we have changed the system, I guess, as far as our technology is concerned, but don't panic, we will get the information out to you on how to actually do that. Phase 2, however, is actually you having a play with the new system and assessing yourself against the new framework. This puts the information into Headstart, which means by the time we get to Performance Review 2020, the information you're assessing yourself against will be in there and the assessment criteria and the process will be much smoother. So one of the changes we have made is in things like the way we assess ourselves against the values. So in the old system, you assessed yourself, I'm always green. But what does that actually mean? Or I'm always fit. But what does that actually mean? Like, is that you feel fit? Is that you go to the gym 12 times a day? Like, what is it? So in the new system, what we've actually done is given you some things that you can rate yourself against. So I go to the gym 3 times per week. It's a lot more sort of black and white. It's easier for you to assess yourself. It's easier for you to have a conversation around that value because there's a set measure for it. We've also changed KPIs to objectives. Crazy, right? Ups, down, lefts, right, cats sleeping with dogs, what the hell's going on? But relax, it's going to be okay, and we've cleaned them up and we feel that they're a lot easier to understand than they were previously. Another thing we've introduced is a competency framework, which is basically a list of competencies or skills that you should be able to do in your role.
Are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career.
It allows you to assess yourself against those. There are some that are set and there are some that are optional. You can just tick them and say, I want to work on these as part of my development. It's a really great way to increase your skill set and make sure that you're also nailing the skills and competencies that you need to actually be successful in the role that you currently have.
Oh, snap.
So let's have a look at the new system now so you have an idea of what it's going to look like. Okay, so here we are on the Headstart login page. If you haven't been to this page before, you'll be sent a link, and when you click on it, it'll take you here. When you log in the first time, you'll be asked to change your password. And if you have logged in before, you'll just come here and log in. So let's do that now. So this is the Headstart homepage, and you can see here that I've got a certain amount of action items that I need to complete. One of these is to complete the objectives, settings, and development program for 2019-2020. So all I need to do is click on that link. Now it's pretty easy to work through the system, and if you have a look over here on the left, you can see the items that we're going to be working through. So that's the values, the capabilities, your year ahead, which is your objectives, and then working on your own development. Now what I encourage you to do is just make sure that you read the copy that's in here. It gives you a little bit of an explanation into phase 2, how it works, and just a reminder of the information that you're putting into the system. And normally when you'll complete it, you'll come down here and click on Get Started. But for what we're doing today, we're going to just be clicking through the sections. So as I talked about in the video clip, the values section is a little bit easier to rate yourself against because it has the quantifiers. So if we use this work hard as an example, you can see here it says it might be number 1, struggles to fulfill minimum requirements, or do you always work to the required hours, you're engaged and you drive for results, or you go above and beyond to deliver meaningful results. You'll click the one that you think you are, and then you'll just move on to the next one. And if we look at the Keep Fit one, for example, it says up to 1 workout in the club per week, or up to 2 workouts a week in club, or 3 workouts or more in club, and you can click the one that it is. If you make a mistake, you can just change it, but basically you'll work through that, and that'll be how you fill in that section. So here we are in the capabilities section, and this is where we have a specific look at the skills that you need to be able to nail your role. There is a select amount of competencies as part of the framework that make up this section, but this section is basically called your capabilities. So when you come into this section, you may find that it's pre-populated. If it's not, you'll come in here and you'll go select competencies. You'll choose the compulsory ones, and depending on your role, there will be a number of these that are compulsory. And now that I've added those in, you'll see them here. So you can see that one of them is a compulsory, which is collaboration. And then you'll come down and you will rate yourself on this. So do you need help working on it, got it, mastering it, or are you a guru? So you'll rate yourself there, and then you'll come down and you'll make any notes that would be helpful for you and your manager to discuss this when you're doing your performance review. So one thing to note in this section is you can also go in here and select a competency that you want to work on. So I might want to be working on my communication, so I will tick that one. I'll add it. And now when I scroll down, I'll have communication here as an option for me to work on. I'll rate myself against it, and then I'll come down here and make any notes specifically that I want to pass on to my manager as we talk about it. So that's basically the capabilities section. Now the objectives section is going to be replacing KPIs, so we're no longer using that term, we use the term objectives. And basically in here will be pre-populated the objectives for your specific roles. Let's have a look at your development. Now your development is really where we're going to be looking at some specific areas. So what capability, value, and or objective do you want to focus on this year, and how you're going to stretch yourself to achieve it. So you'll make some notes in there so you and your manager can discuss it. This one says, do you have a career goal you want to focus on? This one is, what training, support, or coaching do you need? And then any other general comments that you may want to make that will be helpful for your manager. So that's basically how you fill out the form. It's nice and easy, and then once you save and exit, you'll be able to submit that through to your manager. So that looks pretty awesome, and it's going to be a great system going forward. So just recapping quickly, phase 1 is going into the old system and filling it out, assessing yourself as normal against your values, your KPIs, and your goals to get your performance rating. Phase 2, having a play with the new system, inputting the data in, so when you get to the next performance review round, the correct information's in there and you've got something to assess yourself against. So that's it, pretty simple. If you can't remember, watch this clip again, or just don't panic because more information will come. We'll send out the instructions of how to get into the old system, we'll set you up with the new system, and it's going to be a great performance review going forward. That way there will be less of this, and there'll be heaps more of this.